Hello everyone, Orange here. Welcome back to another video. This is the finale video for this month's TOA Hard series. This is floor 100, Lyrith. This is my first ever clear of Lyrith, my second ever overall clear of TOA Hard. Last month I cleared Aftharos for the first time, so I'm really excited that I was able to beat both bosses and that I'm able to bring this video to you guys. It's kind of been like a emotional roller coaster, because at one point I was like mad and then sad and now I'm happy. Because I was sad because the reality, like I was mad because this level took me so many times. Then I was sad because the reality was sinking in that I probably won't get anything from my scrolls. And then now I'm happy because I'm able to finally like savor it and the accomplishment. So, like I told you guys, well, sort of, this level took me many times. I would probably estimate 75 to 100 times. So that was kind of bad, but I learned a bunch from all of those attempts, so I think I will be able to bring you guys a lot of information that will help you finally pass the floor if you're stuck on it, or even if you're not stuck and you're looking ahead to see what the strategy's like before you actually get to it. I think my information will be helpful. So, let's get into the video. For the first wave, the strategy that I used was the same for normal, actually. I killed the Anavels first, then the Junos. So as I'm focusing the Anavels, I will not be debuffing the Junos really at all, just with my slow. The two options I had for this phase of this wave, as I'm just killing the Anavels first, I pretty much could choose between slowing them or using my Sig's third skill on them. The slow is more useful, it's deterring them from taking so many turns, and my Sig's cooldowns are quite high, so he's not going to really be able to spam that third skill because I don't have Devilmons on him or skill ups or whatever. So I opt for the slow, which was very useful, because if the Junos were not slowed, I found that in the second phase of this wave, so once the Anavels are killed, then you can either not debuff the Junos or debuff them. I had to start stacking debuffs on them. I had to use my Mav's Provoke to help with healing because they were doing quite a bit of damage to Mav. So, I had to do that. I forgot why, though. I forgot what I was going to say. But okay, back to the Anavel thing, and I'll just keep talking. So I go for the Anavels. I split up my CC among them, so you'll see me defense breaking the one that I'm going to focus first, and then ice blasting it to get more damage because it's defense broken. Then I'm going to be taunting the other one with Mav so she doesn't get her skills off, and the Anavels are more dangerous than the Junos because the Anavels have a defense break, they have a heal, and then they kind of have like a mini built-in violent set. Their first skill, you know, if they sleep you, then they move again, or they get another turn. So they're more dangerous, that's why most everyone goes for them first on the first wave. And then as I move on to killing the Junos, I'm sort of forced to put more debuffs on them than just one. So I will continue to keep one debuff on the two on the outside and go for the middle one. And like I said, I had to do this or else my Mav would die. If I did not slow them at all, then my Mav would die. So I had to really keep track of my cooldowns. So I had to make sure that I was using my Wings of Wind appropriately after my big cooldowns were down. So like the biggest one for this phase of this wave was my attack bar reset. That was like the main thing that was making this wave quick and clean. So I would make sure to use my Wings of Wind after those big skills were down. Sig's second skill. I didn't actually use Sig's third because I didn't want to debuff them more than once. So I didn't do that, but I'm sure you could do that when you get down to one Juno, but I kept it because I wanted to have that for the next wave, Sig's third. So we're back to talking about the big cooldowns that I waited for to Wings of Wind. So Beretta's Turbulence, one of the biggest ones. Spectra's Slow was kind of another big one. Sig's second, Spectra's Body Slam, and sort of Bella's Heal. Not so much Mav's Taunt. I was using Mav's Taunt here to help with the healing because Bella was not really cutting it. So you'll see me using that taunt a little bit. And then as we move on to the second wave, I didn't really have to conserve too many cooldowns. You guys probably heard me talk about like conserving cooldowns as you're looking to move on to the next wave, but for this floor, I found that that wasn't really necessary. I did have to make sure I had some cooldowns up, so the main cooldown that I really needed up was Spectra's third skill, his slow, to get that on the Arias and Veros as soon as possible. So that was the main one that I was using. I wasn't even using Sig's third on this last Juno, so I didn't have to worry about that. I did want that one to be up though, because I wanted to attack debuff the Arias and Veros because I found that that helped. So first turn. And then I'm not even using Beretta's third skill, so that'll be up for the second wave, which I needed it to be. I didn't really need Bella's heal or Mav's Wings of Wind to be up immediately at all on the second wave, because I'm not going to be using those on the first turn or even really the second turn. So maybe the second turn I did use it, I think so. But for the first turn, it's not that hard to conserve them and stuff. Just the main one I needed to conserve was Spectra's slow as we move on to the second wave. So another small thing I thought I would mention for this first wave, I feel like my team's success rate for the first wave was very good. I would even say like close to 100%. The only way I can really see my team failing this first wave is if I got really bad RNG and the Anavels like moved a bunch of times and defense broke me or something. Like if they defense broke Mav and both moved and the Junos all attacked him, I have no idea. But I feel like the success rate was really good, so I kind of kept that in mind as I was looking to attempt this floor over and over again. So I'm going to get that slow on them as soon as possible and then get my dots going and stuff for the second wave. So that was like a small note that I took in mind because I was attempting this so many times and I feel like that was actually kind of a good thing. I started to realize patterns and get really good and efficient at clearing the first, then the second wave, and then finally getting to the boss and seeing what my problems were. So for this second wave, I did need some RNG because if I didn't get decent RNG and I didn't get decent stuns, then I could possibly fail it. So my strategy for this wave was to go for the Arias and kill them first, because I feel like they're more threatening to my team with their AoE thing, and then their first skill can boost their attack bar if they end up sleeping you. They have way more CC than the Veros. The Veros just kind of have a stomp. So I went for the Arias, and then I did attack bar reset the Veros because I wanted to attack bar reset them because I felt like I really needed my dots and everything, all of my debuffs up on the Arias. So if Vero moves, you guys know he will take off a debuff. He won't take off a stun, a sleep, or a freeze. I don't think he'll take off sleeps, but I'm not sure, but I don't even have a sleeper, so he won't take off the stuns or the freezes that I bring. So I want those dots up though, and all of the other debuffs, because they're very useful to me. If the Vero takes off a slow, then that means that one of the enemies is moving not as slow as they should be. So I did attack bar reset them and then worked really hard on CCing the Arias so they couldn't move. I did this level like I told you guys a bunch of times, so I found that the Arias could move on me. I found that one could move, so I made sure to save my Bella's heal just in case one moved to have it up, and then save my Wings of Wind to Wings of Wind after that heal. So that was one thing that I noticed, that I could kind of save it and like it wasn't totally over if one of the Arias moved, or even two. I think I could survive two. So that's how I attempted the second wave. And then as we move on to the third wave, I didn't need to conserve my cooldowns too much because I basic attacked the boss Lyrith until she split. So that was another kind of handy little thing that I didn't have to worry about, and another thing that I picked up and kind of remembered as I was doing this level so many times. So we are finishing off the Vero, and then we'll move on to Lyrith. So Lyrith is pretty detailed, so first we're going to basic attack her until she splits, and then I will explain all of the different colors and everything like that. So for Lyrith, I'm sure you guys have attempted her or probably beaten her many times on normal before you finally get to hard, but I will recap her strategy for you guys. So basically, there are 3 colors and they all have different skills and passives. So Lyrith is going to split out 2 colors and then she's going to keep the other one for herself. So you have to base your strategy around what colors are out. So what you want to do is you want to kill her clones before she merges with them. So if we take a look at the top right hand of the screen, you see a cooldown thing that says 5. That is her cooldown for when she will merge with them. If either of them are alive when she uses that skill, she will gain stats and become a lot more dangerous, and the fight will be very hard for you. So you want to kill those clones no matter what. If you have Lyrith fairly low, sometimes you can kill Lyrith before she merges, so you don't really have to kill the clones and you can just go straight for her if you have enough damage. Usually that's after she's already split once or something like that, but for me, I killed the clones both times. She split twice for me. So the strategy for the colors are, I'll briefly go over what they do. So the red one counterattacks you when you attack it, unless it's stunned or frozen. Or sleeping, probably. I don't know if she wakes up and counterattacks you, I'm not sure. But I did not bring a sleeper. Some people like to use Aria on this floor, but I don't like doing that, and I don't think Aria sounds that good. So I wouldn't recommend that, but if you do use Aria, you're going to have to look into that because I do not know. So, like I was saying, the red one counterattacks you, and she can do quite a bit of damage. And it can be kind of bad if she's counterattacking you and then some of the other clones move and that can cause you to die. So the red one counterattacks. The green one will steal your attack bar if you attack her. So you don't really want to be hitting the red or the green unless they are stunned or frozen. So that's what you'll see me doing. And then the blue one does damage based off defense. So the blue one isn't too dangerous. You just need to make sure you defense break it. And that's kind of it for blue. So there are some visual cues for the clones in case you guys are colorblind. I will type what they are in the description. So there's like a little circle under their feet that you can look at, and they look different. So I'll type it down below. For me, if we are facing the boss, the clone on the left, our left, is a red one, and then the one on the right is a green one. So I'm going to go for the green one first because in my opinion, the green one is more dangerous than the red. In my normal video for TOA Lyrith 100, I told you guys to go for the blue one first, but I actually attempted this so many times and I found that the green one was actually really squishy. One time she split into green and blue, and then I found that the green one was like super squishy, so you don't need to go for the blue first. I would go for the green first. I feel like she's the most dangerous. I felt like I needed to lock her down and get her dead because she does a lot of damage, and if you can't CC her steadily, like my Sig does not have skill ups, so I can't really crank out those freezes on her. If you can't CC her steadily, then she'll move too many times, and I think everyone kind of agrees she's the most dangerous. So I would definitely go for the green one first, and then the red one, and then the blue one. But you can use the blue one as a punching bag if you don't have the green or red frozen or stunned. It's super important to have the green and red one frozen or stunned. And then the blue one, you probably want to do that too if she can move because she will do damage to you, but I don't think she's the most threatening. Just make sure you have the defense break on the blue, and then the attack debuff thing helps too, even if it's on blue. I think it does, because some skills say that they scale off speed or defense, but it does like it's a percent of attack too. So I did that on the blue too. So here we go. Like I said, red is on the left if we're looking at the screen, green is on the right. So I want that green dead first, but I want to make sure she is stunned or frozen. And then another important thing is to make sure you save your slow for whenever the boss splits or merges, because every time she splits or merges, she removes all debuffs on her. So I go ahead and freeze the green first, and then I'm trying to stun the red. With my Mav, he's fairly inaccurate. His first skill only has like a 50% chance to stun, and then if we actually do the math, it's like 0.5 times 0.85 every time, because he has like a 85% chance to actually land it or whatever, I think. I haven't looked at the resistances of this wave or these two things. Hold on, let me take a drink. My throat's getting dry. Okay. Back to the strategy. So, you'll also see me spreading out my attack bar reset among all three. Some people will tell you to attack bar reset the boss or whatever, but I think it's very situational. Another important thing that I haven't really mentioned is that the way you treat Lyrith herself, the middle one, is based on what color she is. So in my case, she's blue, which means I can attack bar reset her as much as I want because it's helpful. If she's red, and if you're attack bar resetting her, that can be kind of dangerous, because if she's red, you might be able to kill both clones, but then you're forced to attack her. Like I said, having the blue as a punching bag can be very advantageous to you, because if you kill both clones and you're hitting her, you're forced to hit her. She's red, you can't stun her, you can't freeze her, because she's Lyrith, the middle one. She'll be counterattacking you and then getting you low, and then you may even have defense break on you, and you may not be able to remove it if you don't have a Vero like I don't. Maybe I get stuck with a 3-turn defense break because my Wings of Wind isn't up. She gets a turn, she's counterattacking, I can die. So for the red one, you kind of want to let her move. You have to be very specific and time her merges quickly. Of course, with any color she is, you want her clones dead before she merges, because if she merges, she's going to get permanent stats and it's going to be a hell of a lot harder. So you want them dead, but you want her to move pretty much as quickly as possible after they're dead, so she's not counterattacking you too much. Like, you don't want it to be 1v1 you versus her if she's red. So that's if she's red, and then if she's green, I think it's fine to attack bar reset her as much as you want. You're probably going to have a little bit of a difficult time because she's going to be moving a lot more than if she was red or green, because the green one, or if she's red or blue, because the green one does steal your attack bar when you hit her. So I would attack bar reset her as much as possible, but you're going to have a little bit of a difficult time. And then, like I said before, another important thing is to make sure you have your slow ready for whenever she splits or merges, because she removes all debuffs at those 2 times. So you want to get that slow on as quickly as possible so you can have enough time to kill the clones or have enough time to hit her. So when she merges and there are no clones out, she will stun herself, so that's really important to give you a window of time where you can recover or do as much damage as possible, or both, to her. So since mine is blue, I'm going to be attack bar resetting her as much as possible and doing as much damage as I can in this time frame. I did make a minor mistake, and I wasn't paying attention to her cooldown of her merge. So she hasn't actually tried to merge yet, so there's no clones, so she's going to stun herself when she merges, but I wasn't quite paying attention to the cooldown, so I think I thought she was going to merge, and I was like holding on to my Spectra slow when I didn't need to, because I just wasn't paying attention. So pay attention to that. So right now she has 1 turn left, and then I think I start holding on to it here in a second, but I don't actually have to because her skill is still on cooldown. So that's something that I noticed, because she actually moved on me, and I was like, wait, like, she was supposed to merge though, and she didn't. Let me think of some other stuff that I can talk about. A really important resource I want to mention to you guys is this one Reddit thread. There's this like huge Reddit thread, and it lists about 100 different teams that people have used to beat Lyrith. So I would check that list out to start trying out some of those teams, because maybe you have one that is on that list. I tried out a couple different teams. I had a couple that were on that list, but the other teams that I had didn't work for some reason, so now she's stunned and she removed all debuffs, so I'm going to get my slow up as soon as possible and then start working on her. And then, of course, I am going to time my Wings of Wind properly when my big cooldowns are when I've used them, like when I used my Turbulence and my Spectra's Body Slam, Spectra Slow, Sig's second, Sig's third, Bella's heal. So, okay, back to the mini talk session about the Reddit thread. So, my team, I had a couple different teams on that thread that didn't work for some reason, and after so many tries, I decided to really think, like, what team do I have that'll work? And I kind of narrowed it down to this team. This team, I tried it a couple times because one of my friends used this same team, but he used Verad instead of Sig. And I thought, okay, Sig kind of makes sense and he works here, so let's try Sig. And then I kind of narrowed this team down to being the best chance I had, and it worked. If this team didn't end up working for me, then I probably would have, like, resorted to something like Hua, but I don't even know. I didn't have to make too many changes to this team. The main thing I had to do was put Sig on a speed rune in slot 2 so he could get his second skill freeze out on these clones out more. And then that also helps for the first 2 waves. And then all the other runes on all my monsters were basically the same. I tried out like a Hua team with Bernard. My Bernard's built for PvP, so he has 0 HP and he has like 1,000 speed. So he's not good for this level. I had to do like some major rune changes for him. And then my Hua, I had to do some major rune changes for her. It was just a pain in the neck, so I was like, I don't know about that. I like this team though. This is the team that I know. I know everyone's skills very well. I have everything on this team built fairly well, so I was happy that I was able to use this team. And it's a really easy to obtain team. Anyone can get this team, so that's also another great thing, that I didn't have to use Hua. Unfortunately, I used Hua for Athtaros. I didn't really try anything else. Like, this is my first clear, so I can't really get too crazy and try out different stuff. So, I'm glad this team worked out, though. So, check the Reddit thread, and then I'm pretty much telling you guys, like, everything I know about this boss, so I may not be able to help you, and I may not be able to pick the best team for you. It just depends on runes, and it depends on personal preference. So if anyone comes to me in the future and says, what should my TOA Hard 100 team be? I would tell them this team, my team. I know the exact strategy. You can watch my video. I can tell it to you, and you should be able to do it. But other people have different preferences. Someone commented on one of my videos and told me to use a Hua Bernard team. That didn't work for me, probably because of my rune quality. Not really sure, maybe because I didn't look enough into the strategy. I don't know, it just depends on preferences, so other people might recommend different things to you, so you have to keep that in mind. So I probably won't be a big help if you're asking me, like, what team should I use? Well, mine, or look at the thread and try out a bunch of teams, because I tried out so many teams for this boss until one finally worked. So she split again, and we have the same color clones. I think I got pretty lucky. I think, in my case, for my team, her keeping blue is probably, like, one of the best options. If she kept red or green, she would be a lot squishier, but I think if she kept red, I don't know if Bella would be able to keep up with all that healing. Not really sure, so I can't say for sure if I did get lucky or not. Someone else maybe can, like an advanced player could probably come along here and say something and burst my bubble and say, you just got really lucky, and then I'd be like, oh, I don't really care. Even if she was different colors, I would have kept trying. I didn't take too many notes, I didn't pay attention too much, so I can't really tell you guys, like, I failed on these colors for this exact reason. On the Reddit thread that I was talking about, the author of it even mentioned somewhere, like, if Lyrith keeps red for herself, Bella may not be able to keep up with heals at all. So that's something to kind of keep in mind, and you would have to play your Wings of Wind a lot smarter, because you would need to use that if you get defense broken to get that off if she was red. So yeah, just some thoughts. So I'm going to work on whichever one is stunned pretty much, but I do want that green one to die first, but it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to work on whatever's stunned. I really have to work around it because my Sig can't spam out those freezes. If he could, I would get the green one. I would kill the green one first, but I can't, so I'm going to be working on the red one temporarily. Still using the blue one as a punching bag if necessary, if none of them are stunned, because I don't really want to be getting counterattacked or giving the green one free turns because I'm hitting her. So using the blue one as a punching bag, and then still using the Wings of Wind after my big cooldowns have been used. And then trying to get some stuns with Mav here. So I'm probably forgetting some stuff. I'm trying to think, is there anything that I forgot that I need to tell you guys? Oh, here's a really big thing. Okay, I just remembered this as I looked up. So a really big thing that I mentioned on like my 90s videos is not debuffing them 10 times. If you put up your dots too much, like I don't think it really matters on this wave, but on some other floors, you may have the luxury of putting up dots, but that may be your death sentence if you put up too many dots. Because if you put up too many dots and the clones have 10 debuffs, then you won't be able to stun them. So that only applies if they're not stunned. So like if they're not stunned and they have 10 debuffs, you can't stun them. So that's also a really, really important thing. I don't think that really gave me troubles here, but it might for you if you have a different team or something. I don't know. You have to look out for that, so be careful. And then, of course, if Lyrith is red herself, or if the red's up, you don't really have to spam your Phoenix Fury too much if you don't have to, because she will be counterattacking you, so watch out for that. And then I think those are all, like, my big tips. Let me sit here and make sure there's nothing else. I don't think there is. I will have my runes and skill ups in the description in an Imgur photo album, as always. Take a look at that. Everything is fully skilled besides my Sig. My Sig has no skill ups at all. I actually kind of want to, because Sig was like the MVP of this level. But, I don't know. We'll see. I don't have any Devilmon because I used them all in my Lagmaron recently, but that was kind of something. If your Sig is skilled up, I think he will be super helpful on this level, and you should probably use him because his stuns are so reliable. That freeze is like so reliable. I think you should definitely use it. And we are approaching the end here. I was getting pretty nervous when I was about to beat her because I was afraid I would crash. Thankfully, I didn't. I think I crashed, before I attempted her. It was like somewhere in there I crashed, but I didn't crash really at all. I did crash once when I was on wave 2, 1 out of my 75 plus tries, but I didn't crash this time, so it was good. She didn't take too long. I think overall it was like 20 minutes, which isn't that bad. It is still kind of long though. And then I did mention that speedrun for my Sig. That was, did I? Yeah, I did. That was like one of the biggest changes that I had to make. And then the Hua teams that I had tried, I had to do way too many rune changes, and it was all crazy and stuff. So we are approaching the end. And I'm also using my Mobilize to give myself more turns because she's blue. If she's red or green, you may need to time that better because the green one's going to be moving. She'll probably hit you a lot more, so you need to like save that Mobilize. And then the red one's going to be counterattacking, so you probably also need to save that Mobilize. So here I'm using it to create more turns for myself. And slowly, but surely, she will die. I'm just enjoying this. I was so nervous when, like, she was about to die. I wasn't too nervous. Like, I was just like, come on, compose yourself. You're gonna misclick, and then that's going to be bad. But at this point, I pretty much knew she's dead. I also prioritized my Spectra's damaging skill over his slow. So during these phases where she is not going to do anything really, like when the clones are dead, I prioritized that damage instead of the slow because I felt like that was the better choice. I think it's kind of one of those like negligible choices that's kind of difficult to say. But I think the damage was definitely better for me, especially because that skill is so strong with that percent HP. So I think it was the better choice. So I just need to savor this. She's finally dead. I did it. So many tries. I think, I don't know, I probably said this before in this video, but I think it'd be helpful if you guys like wrote notes to yourself about why things failed, because we can sit here all day and blame RNG and stuff, but sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's you, and you could make better decisions. So it is kind of weird and nerdy and maybe like a little bit too much work, but I would say notes help as you're trying to figure stuff out. So I only got to that point like way later on because I was just lazy. So here she goes. Why though? I need that legendary. So here's the legendary. I was kind of just waiting here. I might screenshot it here in a second. And I'm going to summon on July 2nd. You guys know it's only like 3 or 4 days away. Let me see. 4 days. So on July 2nd, Reefy is having a mass summoning session with like some YouTubers and stuff. So I will be attending. He's going to be live streaming it on Twitch. So tune in to his live stream. And I think I'll just be making a video of it. I don't think I'll be live streaming too. So I will have a video out of my summons. I don't really think there'll be anything good. Right now I have like 35 mysticals, 6 light and darks, and then 2 legendaries or so. So I have a decent chance at something, but you never know. It could probably be nothing. So if it is nothing, I think I'll just get over it. I'm kind of good at getting over things in Summoner's War when things go bad. Like the 100 tries on Lyrith, I was pretty mad afterwards, and I made this picture of her because I was mad. So, and then I kind of got over that. So I think I'll just be over it in a while. But I'm excited. I think the whole thing will be fun because I'll be like hanging out with other YouTubers and content creators and stuff. So yeah, July 2nd at 2 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, so that's California time, server time. You see how I have chat up? It says what time that is, so the time right there is Pacific time, so 2 p.m., which is 1400, and it's in channel 5, so tune into his stream, and then everyone's going to be summoning. He's inviting everyone who plays Summoner's War, so if you guys are like, who's invited, or why am I not invited? Everyone is. So if you summon a Nat 5 in Channel 5 during that time, you can be, or you will be entered into a giveaway, and he's going to choose one winner, I think. It might just be one, for one-on-one help. So he's going to help you with your account if you have any questions about, like, account reviews and stuff. And I think he might get some other people to help, too, who are, like, knowledgeable and stuff. So those are all the details. Check out all his stuff, because he's, like, organizing everything, and he has a really great channel. I think he does, like, a lot of PvP videos, a lot of everything videos. So I really like his PvP videos, though, like his Guild Wars stuff. So take a look at that stuff, and then that's pretty much it for this video. I can try to help you guys as best as I can, but that's like pretty much all the information I have. I've said everything in this video, so I can try to help, though. I will do my best. So as I always say, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys later.